Hey guys, welcome back to my neck of the woods. My name is Deco, where I share my experience and my knowledge, hoping to lessen your learning curve along the way. So today I'm going to show you the end result of my high FOC or my heavy arrow build, what happened after it hit a deer. Now this isn't a deer video, it's just the arrow, and I'm going to tell you what happened with the arrow, and you can get to see what the arrow actually looks like and how it held up after hitting a deer in the spine. Now, obviously, I didn't aim for the spine on purpose. I'm not really sure what happened. I don't know if it hit a twig and it deflected up, or maybe I was just off a little bit, but it was a pretty close shot. Shot was at about 15 yards. It was about 5 o'clock at night, so it wasn't the low light wasn't an issue, and it was out of a ground blind. And it was a little bit to the side, but I wouldn't say that would have caused me to hit up as high as I did. Maybe I used my 20-yard pin, and maybe I just didn't aim low enough. Either way, I hit the deer in the spine. Wasn't on purpose, but the deer dropped like a rock. And the only reason I have that it did that is because of my arrow build. I think if I had a lighter arrow, it would have maybe stuck in the spine and caused the deer a lot more turmoil and pain and suffering. If you've ever spined a deer outside of these heavy FOC arrows, you know that it can be quite brutal. So, without any further ado, before I get started, please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and make some comments. You know that I love the comments. So this is, I'll give you a recap of the arrow here. So this is my arrow here. Its total weight is 552.8 grains. FOC is just under 15%, and I use a Grizz Trick, Slick Trick Grizz Trick 125. So this is the arrow. That's what it looks like when it's shot out of my bow. And put it over here for a second. And this is it now. I tried to keep it intact so you folks can actually see. I shot the deer 2 days ago. So we're in 2 pieces now. And it completely ruptured right in the middle. And it's very close to where the forward of center is. So we'll take the other arrow. I marked where the forward of center is on this arrow. Hopefully you can see that, it's right there. So we'll line them up. And it's just past that spot where you would think that the arrow would be the weakest. So what it did is it hit the spine, and obviously it flexed here where it's at its weakest point, and it broke. Now, somehow the I don't know if it's the FOC or just the momentum of the arrow. I mean, it's shooting 550 grains out of a 55-pound bow. My arrow still has a lot of zip, as opposed to last year I was shooting a 700 grain arrow, and that arrow just lagged. You lost a lot of that trajectory. So I'm going to try to show you this close up. This is the back half of the arrow. And you can see where it ruptured right there, right in the middle. And so this is the front half of the arrow here. I'm going to try to get really close for you folks. And I tried to keep it intact, even with all the hair on it and everything like that, just so you can see the integrity of the broadhead, the integrity of the front of the arrow, and how it really maintained. So here we go. Obviously, it had stuck in the dirt afterwards. So this arrow went straight through the spine. It completely severed the spine, severed the aorta, and clipped the top of the lungs. So it went straight through the spine. The deer just dropped like a rock and then fell over. Now, it wasn't a huge deer. It was a small doe. But, I mean, for going through a spine, there's really not a mark on this broadhead. I mean, and it's still sharp. Not sharp enough for me to enter the woods. I mean, but I mean, I take my blades to a strop before I go out there. But I mean, it's not dull by any means. And it's still, I mean, there's no chips on it. There's no bends on it. There's no anything on it. And I mean, it's still in great shape. I will use this broadhead again. And I'll just take the blades out, clean it up, and sharpen these blades up again, and I'll use it again, without a doubt, without a doubt. It did have some, I'm not really sure that matters, some sort of shredding of the paint on the arrow itself, but otherwise it is 100% intact. I'm trying to get it to focus for you folks, but I mean, it looked like, hopefully we can see this, it looked like it maybe like mushroomed right at the top here a little bit. But I'm very excited and I'm really optimistic. I mean, I wouldn't, not that we aim at the shoulder blades on purpose or aim on spines, or, I don't condone that. But I have little doubt that this will not make it through. Little doubt. I'm optimistic that this would make it through maybe the thinner part of a shoulder blade on a deer. It ruptured. So I think what happened was, because I have the lighted nock and I saw the arrow take off. So this part hit the spine, and I hit it right on the spine. You can see the deer in the title on my little thumbnail that I have there. Like I said, it wasn't a big deer. It was a small doe. So this is what I think happened. I think that this went through, and obviously it's not there's no resistance other than the spine. There's not a lot of meat there, so to speak. So it went through, and it went straight through the spine. Now either it hit the spine and it immediately buckled and it broke, which I don't think is the case, because I saw my lighted nock disappear when it hit the deer. I think it went straight in, and then maybe at this point it just lost all integrity and just snapped. Like it could have been. I mean, obviously everything happened so quick, and I didn't get it on film. I was going to start filming my hunts this year, but I'm not really sure that I'm going to. It's just a lot of extra movement. And so I think it went through, and I mean, you can see that the whole arrow went through all the way. So I'm wondering if the integrity of the arrow was fine and then it broke afterwards. Like, did it hit, because I found it in like two pieces, maybe. Like the deer just sort of fell, like I hit the deer, it went rah, and then fell, and then it flopped around for about 5 minutes. It was dead within 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes. And then this part of the arrow was maybe, I don't know, 5 feet past the deer, and then this one was kind of almost like right next to the deer. So I'm thinking that maybe it went through and then hit a rock or something and broke. I'm not really sure. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments. But I don't know when it broke. I feel like I saw that lighted nock disappear into the deer. So I'm going to be doing more integrity tests on FOC later to see as to why that broke. A friend of mine recommended, like, he says, well, maybe it went through, and this is where it actually stuck in the deer, like something like this, stuck in the deer, and then when the deer fell, maybe it broke. It could be, but I feel like I saw that lighted nock disappear. But anyway, that's all I really have for you. I thought it'd be a cool video. Like I said, if this was a double lung shot, I wouldn't make this video, but I happened to hit it in the spine. The deer did drop like a rock, and there was no blood trail. I mean, I saw the deer die right in front of me. I didn't have to put a follow-up arrow in it or anything, as opposed to other spine shots which I've had in the past. Ultimately, we don't want to do these on purpose, but they're brutal. The deer suffers. The deer is in a lot of pain, I would think, or it's scared, or whatever it is. And obviously we want to do right by the animal, but I've spined a few deer in the past, and it's always a follow-up arrow, and the arrow is like usually just like buried in the spine. It never goes through. So slick trick, grizz trick. I'm happy with that. Now I have to figure out how to get that insert out of there. But that held up. I will use that broadhead again. My veins held up. I'm happy with that. And my lighted knock still works. So it's a win-win. So I get to recycle this part and move it on to the next arrow. But that's all I got for you. I didn't want to make this video too long. Hopefully it wasn't too long. Hopefully it wasn't too boring. But some good data for your future. And be well. Thanks. Have a good day.